What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bosco. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever and whenever you are. Today, we're going to talk about some players to buy in Dynasty Fantasy Football. So first up on our list is Brandon Eyuk. Now, he had a slow start with whatever issues were going on between him and Shanahan, but it seems that all worked out because from week 8 on, he had about a 90% or more snap share and was on a 17-game pace to only score about 10 points less than what CeeDee Lamb ended up scoring. Since week 8, he's maintained that playing time and averaged a 22% target share, as well as 40% of the team's wide receiver targets and yards. With Debo and Kittle playing really amazingly, people might be a little skittish of Eyuk still, and, it's honestly better to try and get him before he does something crazy in the playoffs, like, go off for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. And although we didn't get to see much of Eyuk and Lance play together, I'm sure that while Eyuk was in Shanahan's doghouse, he got plenty of reps with the B team and plenty of reps with Lance, maybe even more than Debo and Kittle have. Not to mention, you can use that shakiness of the QB position and what's going to happen there next year to kind of connect some shakiness to Eyuk if you want to scare the manager a little bit and maybe try and, drive that price down a little bit more. Next up quickly, we have Terrace Marshall. He didn't really do anything this year dealing with COVID and injury, but I think with an offensive coordinator change and maybe a QB change or at least another year for Darnold in that system, that could lead to Marshall being more involved as Robbie Anderson's contract comes to an end. He's a big man, decent speed, great at contested catches, and he can play all over the field. I think he's got a good chance to, see his value rise up a bit more next year. Next up, we have Elijah Moore. Now, this one's a little bit more obvious, but Elijah Moore was truly starting to have that rookie breakout before he got injured and ended the season. The end of the season has a huge impact on fantasy players and how people perceive players going into the next season. It's the last thing we saw. It's the freshest thing in our minds. Unless it's Sammy Watkins, who we know consistently lets us down after a really big game week 1, there's a lot of players out there that you probably won't remember the beginning of their season. Like how 2 years ago, Josh Jacobs had like a 40-point game week 1, or how this year, Waller had 19 targets week 1. They will remember how Waller burned them and he couldn't be played for the last few weeks of the season, though. Hopefully that happens with Elijah Moore, and you can slide into the DMs of his manager and try and, get him at a decent price before he remembers how freaking amazing he is. On a similar note, Adam Troutman's, potential huge breakout this year was also totally derailed by injury, and now he may be slightly forgotten about. With Sean Payton leaving and the Saints looking poised to, do some type of rebuild, that could leave Troutman in this Hawkinson-esque role. Not saying whether he's as good as Hawkinson or not, but I am saying he could be in line for a whole lot more work, and better to be ahead of the curve before the narrative can build up. Speaking of tight ends, the last player we're going to talk about right now is Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet had a sneakily successful season, another slow start, but from week 6 on, he only had 1 week with less than 5 targets, which is pretty good for a tight end, especially when you're in, some type of tight end premium. I'm not saying Kmet's going to be a top 3 tight end or top 5 next year. Heck, he might just barely make top 12. But with Allen Robinson likely gone, Justin Fields performing well, Matt Nagy being fired, there's a lot more room for his role to increase and for his value to increase as well. He really showed out as a second year here, and I think he's someone that you can go try and get. I would pay up a little bit for him if you need a tight end. It's a real bad landscape out there for tight end. I think he has some hope of being someone that you can not set and forget, but that you can be confident in playing weekly. On that final note, it's important to remember that we don't need these players, but if you can get them for cheaper than they're going to sell later, it might be worth investing in. Their value could rise a ton. These players, their value could rise a ton by next season. So buy the dip, and if you have these guys, keep those diamond hands holding, baby. Let's go. Anyways, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed. Check back in later, I guess. We'll do some more of these. Figure out, the off-season is here, so it's time for Dynasty to thrive, and boy, do I thrive. I thrive in the deals and the trades and the news and the narratives, and man, I am excited. So hopefully you're excited as well, and I will catch you later. Peace out.